Alexander Assay here again, and I'm so excited to be your host this Friday. And it's the beautiful month of March where we ought to move in the direction that God has planned for us, with respect to everything that God has proposed for us, has destined us to be. I think this March we should start kicking it off and we should start putting things in order. Now, last month, which is the month of love, we ran a series on love, how love is affected by finance, how love is affected by family, background, and all that. And most importantly, how love is affected by acceptance. Now, if you know you have not actually gone through that video, you should get through that love series. Most importantly, the acceptance, why people do not love, why people cannot love, and why people cannot choose people they want to love. Because why? The acceptance factor. That is a big video that we want everyone to just go back and watch again. Now, this is it. This month we're going to talk about management. But before we do that, if you know you are new here, kindly click on the subscribe button and follow us on our YouTube channel. At the same time, you can follow us on Instagram at Assay Junior. So what are we having today? Today, we're going to be talking about financial management and emotional management. Now, most importantly, we're going to actually deal with the management in series, where we have behavioral management, we have anger management, we have all that kind of management. We're going to bring it out. I don't want to actually bring it to your notice so that you'll be like, oh, you're expecting something from me. And I love to always bust the balloon if I want to actually bring up a series, so that you don't get to know what I'm going to say next. But sometimes it's interesting for you to know what I'm going to say next. But first of all, we're going to talk about the finance and emotional management. By next week, by the grace of God, we're going to talk about behavioral management, now, which entails anger and the rest of that. So what is financial management? First of all, what is management? Management, in a simple term, is ability for you to manage whatsoever you're given to manage. Now, the thing is, when God created Adam, right, he actually gave him the Garden of Eden. Now, the first thing God gave man was work, management. In the words of Miles Monroe, he said, if you're looking for a husband, kindly look for a man that has something that he's doing. Preferably if he's actually pursuing his purpose, pursuing the reason why God brought him here on earth. So, but the thing is, management. Why are you here? What are you managing? Now, management is the ability to manage something properly. You get. Now, most people do not know how to manage, so I'm going to come from the angle of emotions, and I'm going to target also with finance. Now, what is emotional management? Emotional management is the ability for you to actually control your emotions in decision making, because every now and then, most of us, we have this management problem when it comes to finance, but we don't understand that the root of our mismanagement most definitely comes from actually the lack of emotional management. If you don't know how to control or manage your emotions, trust me, you're going to make everything you do a bizarre. Everything you're going to do is going to turn to something else. So if you cannot manage your emotions, now how can you manage these emotions? Now, for example, I'm going to use forex trading as a key example. I'm going to draw out some fact from that place. Now, in forex trading, the first thing people will tell you, oh, just come invest. No. That is how life, people want to push you emotionally and tell you, oh, this thing is working, we have to do this, and before you know, your adrenaline is popped up, is as in rising so fast, and before you know it, you are into the forex trading, and the next 2 months, 1 month, you start seeing yourself losing because the proper understanding about forex trading, you did not get it. Now, that is how it is in life, because people will come and give you this pause. And when they give you this pause, you'll be like, every part of your body will be so gingered to do the business. Every part of your body will be so gingered to do whatever they have actually plugged you to do. Now, everything is about the mind. Everything is about the mind connected to your emotions. Now, no matter how someone tell you about a business, or someone tells you about some particular thing, be sure that your emotions are not the one deciding for you. Because if your emotions are the one deciding for you, trust me, at a point in time, you're going to lose focus. If your emotions is the one deciding for you, you are going to lose focus. And listen, while in relationship, if your emotions are the one doing the decisions for you, most definitely, you are still going to lose focus on the aim. On the aim at which you're going to pursue what you want to pursue. So the most important thing is emotional balancing. How can I balance my emotion? Now, you have to separate how you feel from how you think. You have to separate how you feel from how you think, what is going through your head and what's going through your heart. Now, when someone comes in and say, oh, this thing is beautiful, this is amazing, blah, 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 they give you a spoken word or a salesman words, and before you know it, your emotions are so high in the clouds. That is how salesmen actually sell their product. No disrespect to every salesman out there, but this is it. If someone is selling something to you, what they sell to you is emotions. Very importantly, if you're a salesman, you can get this. What you sell is emotions, and what they sell to you is emotions. Now, they find out how you feel, how you wear the clothes, how you feel when you buy the stock, how you feel when you do whatsoever you do. So how can you balance your emotions, your heartfelt emotions, from your head emotions? Because the reason why I said head emotion, because sometimes when we think about something, we want to have this sober reflection on the person, because your heart is overwhelmed and your head is already drowning in the whole ocean of your heart and all that stuff like that. So the most important thing is for you to actually know how to, differentiate between your head emotion and your heart emotion. Now, I want to drop this real quick on how you can differentiate it. Now, when it comes to emotions, it goes with feelings. Both of them go with feelings, but the head is more of a calculative aspect, where you sit down and you calculate the risks involved. You're not actually being thrown into the wind to actually say, oh, I want to do this. No. You sit back, relax and study the wind, when the wind is actually going your way and when it's going against you. So how you can actually differentiate your emotional balance or emotional management, which is the heart and the head, is actually residing to where you actually going to think. Now, how you can use your head and your heart, this is how it is. There's a thin line between both of them. One, you're going to use your head to calculate. If I do this business, am I going to win? What is the collateral damages that is going to come to me if I win or if I lose? You get the point now. Then the heartfelt emotional management is how you feel concerning the business. For example, let's say it's your friend that owns the business, and you're like, oh, I trust the person, because you have this emotional attachment with the person, that this heartfelt relationship with the person, and you feel like, oh, because this person is my friend, is my lover, my partner, whatsoever, my family member, you just take that go ahead signal and say, oh, this person cannot hurt me. But trust me, the people you trust, they hurt you. When it comes to finances, I've been in a situation whereby someone trusts me a lot, because in life we all grow. This is a personal development channel. In life we all grow, and someone trusts me enough with his finances, and I was growing, and I found out that there were so many times that there were so many issues that were coming my way at that point in time. I was like, man, I was even pushed to actually start using his money to solve my problems, and which is very wrong. In financial management, you don't use someone's money to solve your problem. It's wrong. You get? So for you to go into let's say a business, you have to sit back, relax, ask yourself, my emotions, is my emotion the one deciding for me, or it's actually my head deciding for me? There's what we call the head fight and the heart fight. If it's a head fight, trust me, it goes down to business and finances. Now, in the aspect of Forex, I'm going to go back a little bit in Forex. You see that when people are winning in Forex, they want to win more. They forget the fact that when they are winning more, at the end of the day, their buying power increases. So when you're winning and you do not know how to manage your emotions, your buying power will increase. And when your buying power increases, you start living above your means. Now, you have to have a stipulated marginal line that will tell you this is where you're going to stop in your buying power. You get? So for people, when they start winning a lot of money in forex trading, they want to win more, they want to stick higher, and at the end of the day, it goes down. And guess what? When they are losing, they want to recover. That is when you have to now balance yourself before you go into anything, because there's going to be a time whereby you want to win more and you want to recover more, or you want to recover what you have lost. And the point you're trying to recover all, or recover the one you've lost, you're going to lose more, because now your emotions are now tied up with what you feel in your heart, not what you feel in your head. Your head is not calculating anymore, but your emotions are the one calculating. So how can you differentiate this? When you are face to face with issues, or when you are losing, you have to sit back, relax, and pause. You don't take any other action. Just relax. Now calculate. You have to calculate. You have to have a well-calculated risk before you go into any business, any endeavor, whatever it is. If your mindset is not set to win, At the end of the day, you want to try to win when you're losing. And when you try to win when you're losing. Trust me. It's all about the emotional management. Now, how can I manage this emotions? I can manage emotions by how I tell myself I want to do it. Don't allow anybody tell you how to do what you have put yourself to do. Bet against yourself, not against someone else. Because if you bet against someone else, that's actually the word of Curtis Jackson, which is 50 Cent, that we all know him. He said the only bet he bets is actually the bet he bets against himself or for himself. He doesn't bet against, let's say, two opposite sides, they are fighting or they're playing football. He doesn't do that because he feels that anytime he bets against himself, he's going to do the best he can do. So when you are betting against yourself, you are the one running the show and you are the one betting yourself hands down. So you're going to ask yourself, am I betting against myself or I'm betting for myself? Or I'm betting for people? And trust me, if you're betting for people, somehow, there might be weaklings and they might lose and you might lose your money. Now, financial management, I'm going to touch that real quick. Now, you have to have a to-do list on your spending power. The spending power and your buying power. You have to know what we call the liability and the asset. Most of us are buying liability every now and then. I will start saying, oh, money goes down. The more money you get, the more issues or the more things are going to pop up. I'm going to make this series a continuation. I don't want to make it very lengthy. So I'm going to talk more about the finances by the grace of God next week. So I'm going to touch a little bit on the financial aspect. Now, when you're growing in business, in whatever it is, you have there's this feeling that comes in. Now the heart feeling comes in. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need to change my chairs. Oh, I need to change my TV set. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. Now at that point in time, you want to change everything. You want to buy heaven and earth. But you forget that your means, you shouldn't go above your marginal line or your buying power. And most of us buy liability, and at the end of the day, we quarrel ourselves. Sometimes we even eat our wife or abuse our wife, that we are the one that is making all the spending. Trust me, bro. The moment you start winning, a lot of things are going to start calling you. Buy me. You need me right now in your life. Buy me. Because there's this impulse that tells us you need this. At a point in time, you need to relax and sit. Use your head. That is how to balance your emotions. Emotional management. Using your head where you ought to use your head, and use your heart where you ought to use your heart. When you ought to use your heart is when you have this emotional relationship, and you have to really balance yourself. You have to be wise as a serpent, and actually be calm as a dove when you're actually using your emotional balance, which is your heart. Because sometimes you use your heart and people fall off the cliff, or you fall off the cliff by using your heart. And when you're using your heart, be careful and be smart as a serpent, because sometimes people are trickish. They say that, oh, you are vulnerable, and they make use of your vulnerability. And trust me, when they make use of your vulnerability, you are done. Trust me, you're done. I'd be like, I trusted you. I did. Hello. You've made a mistake by trusting people too much. While you are using your heart, still relax and use your head sometimes. What is this person saying? What am I doing? How am I doing what I'm doing? Use your heart very well when it comes to family. Family, you have to be sympathetic a little bit more. And 50 Cent said something that I like. He said, his weakest point is his family. And most of us, our weakest point is our family. So we need to use our heart. We need to be discreet in using our heart, mostly when it comes to relational issues. Family, fiancés, wife, kids. We need to be very careful. I'm going to touch that real quick in the next video by the grace of God. How to actually manage your emotions when it comes to actually the family, the friends, whatever it is. And I'm still going to be your host. Next week, by the grace of God, it's Alexander Ase here. And peace unto you. But listen, when you ought to use your heart, use your heart. When you ought to use your head, use your head. Do not mismanage both. Use your heart when you ought to use your heart. Use your head when you ought to use your head. Do not use your heart to hit the stone. Use your head to hit the stone, because your head has the ability to actually get that heat, head-on heat you get. So even in your dealings, use your head. So I'll see you next week, Friday, by the grace of God. We're going to talk about the finances, and we're going to talk more about the emotional balancing when it comes to family, relations, and all that. I'm going to touch that real quick before I go into the financial part proper, by the grace of God. I'll see you when I see you next time, same time, by the grace of God, on Friday next week. And I don't know. Let me keep that, because something just entered my head right now. I want to say, but I'm not going to say that. So I love you all. Thank you all for subscribing to my channel. I really, really appreciate it. God bless you all. Peace. Alexander Ase.